Welcome back, survivors. I'm the Survival Abyss, and we return to our second weekend of Abyssus. We're going to change out from going for what's probably the weirdest or strangest weapon you have for the weapon roster to my personal favorite, which is the combat bow. So we're just going to head to the workbench here and equip it. Now, unfortunately, the combat bow can be a little lackluster for, like, the primary mods and the secondary mods, in my opinion. Like, the primary mod, you have either precision shot, which is just a fair bow that more damage when during its sweet spot, which is basically when it has, like, the best charge percentage. It's not overcharged, not under. It's, again, that little sweet spot where it's just right. But then it has piercing, which is piercing arrow deals increased damage per enemy hit. The reason why this isn't all that interesting to me is because there's a charm that basically gives you the same effect on any weapon when you pick it up. So, and it's also kind of situational to have to set up to actually get the piercing effect off, so it doesn't feel that good. And then the return arrow is basically more of like a repeating shot type, where, as you can see, you gain increased damage and fire rate when shooting during the sweet spot or getting arrow pickups done. There's nothing that really stands out as like super interesting or dynamic, like how we saw with the fish deity, where you had like a range attack and then a chainsaw melee strike. It's basically pretty straightforward for what this is. The secondary mods on it are a multi-shot, which is basically just like a little volley of a bunch of arrows used out. A smart arrow, where if you use, it'll bounce between enemies, which can be a bit helpful, or exploding arrow that just explodes on hit. I actually kind of want to take that for a moment just to check and see, like, if it's got how big the explosion radius is on it, and also, like, just the damage amount to it. Yeah, so it looks like it's only 301 for... okay, so it's 301 plus 351 for that going out. But then it's like, as you can see, because of us getting the sweet spot hits, the damage is steadily going up. But like, for the explosive shot to be... oh. Actually, does the explosive... I think the explosive shot actually procs with the return arrow's primary one. I didn't realize the two worked in combination like that. As we do it from nothing, it's 301 and 351. But then if we just quickly try working with this to get that sped up, it does take a little while to build that up. Yeah, so that actually does go into your secondary, so that's interesting to know. Now that makes me wonder how strong the multi-shot is with this. Well, actually, there's probably a workbench in here that I could quickly swap stuff out with, isn't there? Yeah, there literally is. My mistake. Okay, yeah, so if we go in here and we change that out to multi-shot, you'll see it fires out basically like a little shotgun blast of 190 or 189 each. Let me just quickly see if I can get this up. And that little kind of like blue sprite you see coming off when we do get the shots out, that is basically like your arrows coming back to you. Okay, so it does benefit both of those. That's interesting. I'm trying to think of which one I prefer to use. I think I'd probably go for multi-shot because of the way those two interact with each other, and for the ability, I think we'll probably go for what's probably... all of the weapons and such can get up to being brokenly strong builds if you choose the right things, but the turret is one that's usually pretty easy to build up to be a very powerful aid. So we'll probably take that, and we're actually going to go and increase the difficulty from last time using the deep water tank here. You only unlock these after you've completed a run on normal, and it's basically a modifier that changes quite a few things. Like, we'll just get these first four, which are enemies have 20% chance to be enhanced with one augmenting effect. This is the rundown of them. Like, malicious enemies make the player take 150%. He basically makes you weak and more susceptible damage. Swift ones are they attack faster, lethargic slow you down by 75% a lot, and you really feel that for its duration. Poisonous just poisons you over time. Explosive, explode on death. Berserky, increase their damage if they go low enough. Hasty, increase movement speed. Sturdy. Sturdy is a bit of a hard one because they have armor equal 50% of their total health. Or, I guess, I'm not sure if it's actual total health or current health. But then after 10 seconds, it comes back again. I kind of feel like the coming back again is really difficult if it's like a boss or an elite that has it. Which I don't know if bosses actually can have these effects. I think it's just regular enemies and the elites are mini-bosses in the areas. And then healing enemies can heal for whatever. So we'll turn that on. We'll also get Nautical Horrors, which deal 30% additional damage and health increase on that. We'll get Corrupted Depths, and we'll get Abyssal Leviathans. And I might actually go for the Corrupted Descent, just to give us more things. So what the Corrupted Depths are is corrupts 1 random death per area. You basically get a choice of a reward if you clear it, what it is. Usually it's like one minor thing or a step up in difficulty for a step up in the reward too. Abyssal... okay, bosses get additional abilities now if we have that selected. It's not so much like an augment like from the first one, but little changes or tweaks to the fights in that to make it more difficult. And then Corrupted Descent just gives us more corruptions per depth to give us more rewards and such to work with. We're not going to go to like trying to get up to Infinite Pain because I don't have enough canisters, but we also have now that all regular enemies deal 18% more damage and have 18% more health, and bosses have 60% more health and 6% more damage. And you do feel and notice it when we're in the field. So I think that's everything there. We are good to head down with the bow and see how we do. As for the blessings, I'm not sure what we'll pick trying to go for, because there are some good synergies back and forth between some synergies, and there are also ones that just do not help or work all that well, too. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'll try getting a status build, which is like maybe try to get blood on the turrets, fire on the primary fire of this, and then shadow on the secondary. So we use the secondary first, that'll apply like a debuff that they take more damage just through all sources, and the other two can like help melt them. That's actually not a bad charm to start with. 10% chance for any hit, deal triple damage. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll do one more weekend after this, or this will be the last weekend for it. Like, you can see certain areas, like the very basics of what we're starting with here, the Pierce Bow effect might have been decent there, but it tapers off a lot against like bosses and other things, where it's basically you're not getting any benefit compared to always having a benefit from the others. Okay, that's all that done. Now, I thought, too, I would have seen more enemies with, like, ability or, like, an augment to them by now, but I guess maybe it's more... There are other effects that I could have picked in that table that would have seen... We would have seen them more often. Well, free chest... And a 40% chance, or 40% more damage at max health. That's pretty good to start with, because we should be able to save our health pretty well. And just to help us out, we'll use the turrets there. And there we go. That's already a first death cleared out. It doesn't take too long to go through them, and it gives us our chance to figure out what we want to start for our build. Okay, none of these are actually what I was looking for, so we'll re-roll. Frost actually could be decent. Because as enemies do... Yeah, increases damage dealt to elites and bosses. See, that's where I'm thinking that could be pretty good. And I'm kind of thinking maybe the frozen ability would be better. Or maybe I want on the secondary, because then the shotgun sort of effect of it means it'll... I'm going to go for the secondary there. I'm not sure how much of a chance there is on it, but my thinking is, because multi-shot is a bunch of arrows and each one can apply the effect, that might be a good burst to build it up. And here here is the Corrupted Depth, where, again, there's the base modifier, which is like that to get 2, one's guaranteed to be rare, or one can be guaranteed to be legendary. But it's the 2 of those are together on it. So I think we'll go for Modified Enemies B. Try to get the 2 charms and a guaranteed legendary out of that. But there's one of them that I don't know if it actually is working as it's supposed to. Or it's kind of hard to track when it is working, if it is. Yeah, I gotta be a bit careful on this one. Ah, shoot. Did get hit there. Yeah, see, like, the lethargic seems to last a ridiculously long amount of time compared to anything else. But one of the keys to Abyssus is to try to always be moving. Because if you stand still, you're just giving things a lot of time to be able to home in on you. Okay, where are you? There you are. We got you back here. Oh, got caught again. Well, at least one good thing is for getting caught, we do have one of the health trade-in stations here. So again, we're going to try to get our max amount we can out of it. Yeah, I'm going to actually use the 2 syringes to get this up to that, take that, and then punk it again. I should be fine to hopefully find the health refill before the mini-boss. If not, I think we'd still be able to handle the mini-boss alright without it. Or, like, with no syringes. It's not too difficult, and the mini-bosses don't really get anything new or special that goes in with them. And there's a sturdy enemy back there. They kind of have the weird, like, coating on them. And these guys can be a little bit annoying because they're basically a spawning type. So they'll spawn those little floating enemies that we're contending with. And there is a melee strike. I probably should actually use it more often than I do, but it is a case of you have to get in close quarters for it to pay off. And we actually got lucky in... This is actually the complete health and syringe refill. I didn't think it'd be that close after we used the other shrine, but that was also something too, is don't feel like you have to immediately use these once you clear a room. You can always backtrack and make use of them afterwards. Okay, there we go. I did get hit again, so that's why I'm a bit slow. And to be honest, this is where I'm actually not sure what we want to augment. Because, like, the bow ones are usually pretty straightforward and can sometimes feel a bit weak. The turrets are always generally one that are nice to get some improvements with, but... Again, I'm not sure what I want to show off more, the bow or... Maybe we'll go turrets this way, since we went for the full ones onto the, enemy last time. Fire rates increased by 10% when continues to get a kill. But that's not that helpful on bosses, and we don't have any abilities yet, so that's not really that helpful. We'll try one more check. Rich Get Richer can actually be pretty good if we're able to get some nice augments with it, so maybe we'll take that. Because there is a modifier that you can get more stacks of abilities. So I think you can get 3 more uses, so that will help cool down immensely. And we got a chance for this. Okay, I think it was... I'm wondering if I want fire on... I think I'll take primary fire with the ice. Because the ability... if the turrets hit weak spots, it would be helpful, but since they don't always, I think getting it on my primary would be better here. Yeah, we'll just worry about dealing with these little guys since they do have the modifiers on them to start. And we actually did get the freeze effect off on him, which is why it went down that easy. Take that, heal ourselves up. Increase 1 damage for... Actually, I'm going to take that over a Perfectionist. Because what the Marksman does is increase damage 1% for each hit. Damage bonus resets on a miss and caps at 50. Because of our multi-shot, every single arrow actually counts as a hit to increase that. So we'll see what we've got for a choice of charms here, and then keep going. And yeah, we'll go for more fire. And yeah, maybe we'll go Empowering Flame, since we do want to build up our primary shots. So we got killing enemy deals doubles damage of the next hit, or automatically. Oh, I gotta remember to always open that. But you know what? I think I'll take that over the Hate Forged and break these two. That's one thing I forgot to do, is because that legendary charm you might see a few times through a run. All enemies deal 25% increased damage for a blessing, or deal 75 for blessing and upgrade. I'm going to go for that one. But yeah, that's one mistake I made, is if you do get the charm choice, always check your charms first, because that legendary one that has the blessing built in, you can probably see a couple of times or so if you're lucky in the runs. And here, without these guys having like the double augments on them, they're a lot easier to contend with than the last area we were through. And our blessing upgrades. Okay, secondary fire deals 50% additional damage, applies frost buildup on hit. I think the frost is basically up to max, so it won't. So I think we'll actually go for primary to make sure the chance is up to full amount total there. And yeah, we still have that blessing upgrade one. So it only applies on... Okay, yeah, let's start with getting rid of all these, just that way. Yeah, we got a lot. Oh, there's the pylon. Get rid of that, so that way the total that we see are going to be out. And try to contend with all these little guys. Okay, there we go. Clear them all out. Can take a little while to get through them all. And that's just some more gold. And we'll keep working our way slowly along. Nope. Oh, it's hard to say if these are ever worth it, so I might actually look at passing on them, because they can either give you a syringe, a blessing, a key, or nothing. And, like, for the bit how gold can be a bit scarce if you don't choose the gold blessing or, like, gold burst, probably better just to leave that be. But I think I will open that up. But I don't think I actually want that. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. I think I'm going to try to get blood on our... as our, like, last... ability to pick. There we go. Cleared that out. And that was the last of this little area here. Okay, so break that. Pop you open, take that. Now, on a blessing chest, we want to take the altar here first, so we can make sure we actually choose what we want. And we're going to try to make sure we find the blood. So I'm going to re-roll. There it is. Now this way, no matter what's in here, it'll always apply to one of the blessings we've chosen. In this case, it's going to help our frost out, and we'll probably go for apply frost, build up faster. Even stronger. And that, I think, got... Okay, our upgrade was used, so I don't know if it actually is showing it proper in here, or we use that somewhere else, but... Okay, no, Oh, maybe it applied to taking the blood one. That's why it's not here. So, you know what? Let's go for quick freeze to get frost even faster built up. And now we'll move onwards, which is, I think, to the first boss now. Once we're into the mood of, like, just starting to go into the flow of it, it goes super quick for, like, getting progress made. And we'll check out the merchant here and see what they have on offer. Because, yeah, they've got... Okay, so increase movement speed for 2 health you're missing. That can be hard to control. I'm actually kind of thinking maybe the merchant price reduction here wouldn't be bad. But it is a few bloods in that. How much are these? They're 140. Or I could try You know what? I'm going to take that. And that... Okay, that's... So does that only apply... I feel like that's a lie. Because these Or no, were they 140? I can't remember how much they were. But you know what? Let's go for... Let's get the blood going first. Yeah, you know what? Red-blooded actually would be pretty good. Because that will let our health slowly build up on its own. And I don't think I'd be able to get enough gold to get another one, so we'll just go for the extra health there. And try to get our max health going up more and more. I'm thinking this combination might work out where if I apply the frost buildup on enemies, that'll make them very susceptible to the fire and the blood combo of our primary and abilities. And there's our familiar, maybe not friend, but... Okay, yeah, so we got that out, and I might want to wait and let these kind of do what they will. Because as the turrets do get off their abilities on these little guys, I think we actually might get some max health from each one that gets taken down by the turrets. Yeah, it's not too much, and there is a point where basically they do stop providing us with benefit. Okay, gotta mine the floor. Oh, shoot. Okay, we were in one of the... Again, it can be hard to tell if you're actually in a damage field or not. Unless you start, like, noticing your health is going down. And we'll get rid of that. Okay, right. So this guy's extra ability is he basically summons those rings out periodically through this last phase. Well, there we go. It can hit pretty hard, and especially in like higher difficulty modifiers, it is very dangerous going through with that. But we'll take that. See, that could be helpful, but we already do have the built-in revive, so I think we'll just break that to get the gold to help us towards hopefully getting a key for, like, the next area. And then we'll take the health shrine. Unfortunately, we missed this by a couple minutes. I think going a bit slower to chat is slowing us down for what we are getting, but we'll go for red-blooded to get more health if the turrets take things down. And we'll try doing what we did last weekend, where we'll try getting the first 2 levels fully clear, and then the second episode get the last. It'll be in the second episode where there's going to be some more length to it, because the last boss basically gets a whole new phase to itself, and can be a very brutal one. Oh, shoot, where am I? Okay, there we go. That's cleared out. I don't see anything on the mini-map, so we are good to move further along. Yeah, these guys are always the main priority because of the immunity they provide to other enemies. Okay, that's cleared out, and we got a chest to pick up. So I'll head over there, pop that, and again, I think I'm going to ignore the wishing well. If I pick up the charm, that would guarantee... or do I want to try taking that for a key? We'll try one. No, actually, we got pretty lucky with that. And we'll take that. Now, I don't know if that'll be all that helpful for us, because, like... what does this do? That's not bad. I'm kind of thinking I might want to take that over the golden ticket, because I don't know how often I'll see the merchant to make use of that. You know what? Actually, nah, I'm going to break that and get the gold. It might be better to actually just try to funnel it towards getting more blessings and really building up our, well, our build. Which is pretty high levels. Get out of that, and that is already that through. And that is the first depth done. Okay, so we got chest with more... Okay, so we'll got new frost buildup. We'll get that. And maybe we'll keep working for blood to try to get the turrets up to be stronger. 5% increased hemorrhage damage each hemorrhage until you take health damage. Or hemorrhage deals 100% more damage closer to your enemies. I don't actually know how this works with the turrets. Is it off of the player's distance or the turret's distance? That's what I'm not entirely sure of. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do Steeped in Blood. And then we'll get the upgrade. And maybe we'll go for... Yeah, Steeped in Blood, so that way that builds up faster. And now, what do we got? Okay. Berserking and Sturdy could be pretty dangerous, but it would be nice to get the guaranteed legendary, so we're going to go for that. I think with the turret combination we've got, we might hopefully be able to offset it a bit too. And as long as I mind how much damage we take, we could get a pretty high... Yeah, and then we've got one more back here. There we go. That is cleared through. And thanks to us using the turrets, we're also gaining more max health steadily, too. So that helps a lot. And we've already got, looks like, 20 stacks of extra damage on our turrets. Okay, so this one we can't really... Nope. I was going to say, we can't really do much until we get rid of these flowers. But the turrets, I guess, actually took one out entirely for us. So let's see if we can find a good spot with... Yeah, unfortunately took some health damage there. Yeah, freeze you, because you're a bit of a nuisance. And there's still a couple more to go. There we go. Okay, chest sitting right here. Just some more gold. If we don't get a key, though, the gold's not all that helpful, because we can't access the merchant. But we might get lucky with one of the corrupted depth choices being to get that. Let's go for Frozen Secondary. Get that augmented and boosted up. And keep going through. So we've got, I think, one more area than an elite just ahead. Okay, that cleared that out. I'm actually going to save the health altar here till we go ahead further. Just in case there's anything else, and I might, like, in case I have to use other stuff with the boss up ahead here. Just try to maximize our resources so we're not putting anything... Shoot. Okay, I let myself get a bit cornered there by him. There we go. Wasn't too bad taking him out. And what do we got? That actually... Okay, I'm trying to think. There's 2, 4, 1. So 7... I don't think it'll be worth it. That'll only give us like 21% damage for the most part. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly head back, snag that health altar that was just back here. And then we'll continue on our way. Since we are leaving the depth and we won't be able to come back to it next. I know it does take a little bit of time off of us, but I don't think we're all that rushed to go for things. There is always, I think it's usually a blessing chest after each boss, if you do time it, but I don't know if the timing is for, and that's why we do this before the altar. So we're going to swap that out for that. And now we'll go for another blood, and we'll go for the baneful one. And that is already upgraded because of the charm we picked, so now we can see... I don't think game bosses do have modifiers, so that's going to taper off for us, so I think we'll just break that and be on our way. Hasty and Berserking, I think I'll actually go for that. The reason why that depth was a little bit more rough, my thinking, is because they had the Sturdy on them, so they had more health. But here, I don't think we'll be too badly off with going for these 2 active at once. Oh, shoot. Of course, there's one of you guys. Okay, there, you're down. Alright, gotta be careful of the chains that these guys use. But, well, isn't too bad. And yeah, we'll try using this, just get a bit more health. Oh, I don't know if I want to do the 800. I think I'll just pop that again, and we'll be on our way. Because that would only leave me 1 syringe for the next boss, and they're not too bad if you know what they do, but it can still be a little bit rough at times. Yeah, I think I've got to try getting rid of the, the one modifier that is like, as we keep getting hits, our damage will go up. Alright, there's the damn spawner. Yeah, I think I gotta get... It's a good thing we got another, possible turret. And you I've got to take out, because you heal in a radius. There we go. Yeah, this proved to be a bit more rough than I was expecting from just this go. Okay, 1 more to get. There we go. Okay, so that's cleared out. And yeah, we're going to get more for turrets. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can try to get the stacks. Explode on hit, deal 20% That's not bad, but I still think if I could get them tossed out with more stacks on them. Or maybe investment would be better. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to keep seeing if I can find the ability stacks first. Reason being, my thinking is that will pull off more weight with having, like, reduced... There we go, extra pockets. So yeah, that gives me, I can toss out 6 at a time, and because of the reduced cooldown, we can toss out more and more. So we'll see how this helps us out. Yeah, it's not too bad so far, but there are going to be some augments that'll help catapult that to really strong levels. And you got to be a bit more careful with some attacks, though. Like the little hand clap he does, I could have mitigated that and not taken it at all. Okay, so we got open all keys. Actually, I'm going to take that one over marksman.
This I like.
We'll break that, so now I can get into the merchants and that without using any keys. And now we're going to have a way to deal with many enemy groups much easier with that. That's basically when those blood orbs that have been spawning show up and pop, they'll do like an area of effect damage. So that's a bit of crowd control to help us out. Cool. A little bit more health, that's good. That's everything here. So we got some funds in to help us out. And we're into the next shop and next boss. So we'll see how our discount helps us along with this next stop.
Now what's inside?
Okay, we've got Explosion Stringer twice. Well, we've already got that one, so that's not anything really to get. I think we'll go for... I don't think I can get all 3, so maybe we'll try... I think I've got to go for Syringe just to get our health topped up first. And maybe we'll go for trying to get... We'll go for a Blood and a Freeze. Yeah, we'll go for Bloodletting. Average enemies take 10% of damage over 5 seconds. Okay, now... Do I try a... Maybe I'll actually try a reroll. That's not... Yeah, those aren't all that helpful, so I think we'll instead go for... Oh, do I go for a Blessing or do I try another reroll? Kind of thinking maybe a reroll. A Fan might actually be pretty helpful, so you know what? We'll take that over Golden Ticket. Break that for the gold it gives. And now that gives us an extra projectile to the left and right of our original. So that might help us out a fair bit more when it can come with dealing with some of the enemies. And now it's back down to deal with the water elemental thing. Now we'll see how this goes. Yeah, basically the only thing this guy actually gains from like the modifier at the start. Oh, I hate the extra. It seems like there's a multiply pushback effect if you get hit by like the same wave twice in a row. Oh, actually, I was talking about how I didn't think the piercing arrow would be that strong, but I'm wondering if maybe that, in combination with like the blood orbs, would actually be pretty helpful. Oh, okay, we've actually got him through another phase already. Yeah, he gains a lot more of the waves as the fight goes on, so... it's a fight that does get much more chaotic the longer it goes. There we go. Managed to get through it. I doubt we'll get the blessing chest at the end of it, but we'll head down and see. Pop. And down we go too. Okay, so we've got Overdrive. Charm breaks after taking damage. Probably one of the worst ones to get. If you're able to, like, say, maybe use the barrier ability, that could probably be more helpful. But for us, nah, it doesn't really do too much good. And yeah, we missed out on another blessing chest. That was a few minutes ago. And we'll get the increase to bloodletting here, I think. And just like last week, we are going to end this first episode of Abyssus for the weekend right here. Thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of the series. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure in the comments right down below. Until I see you all in the next video or episode, survivors, please remember, as always, to take care and stay alive.